Go for it.
I can talk first if you want. Yeah, definitely like everybody can be on next year's New Leader Conference. Like there's no reason why you can't. There's so much time in between now and then that in order to qualify, everybody could be there. So there's no excuses. And I just have to say that it was like one of the most amazing experiences for myself. Like the information, for one, was totally invaluable, like very different than the information you get at Summit, because it's geared towards Michelle, are you able to mute everybody? I think if you go into like manage participant. Oh,
people keep muting themselves. I think
Oh, okay, we're good. Yeah, it's different information than what you get at Summit, because it's really geared towards where you're at in the business. So you have to be sort of like a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, kind of that point in your business. So the information is really geared towards those people. So it was amazing takeaways. But also, like, I mean, if you guys like to go away and it be paid for, that to me was like, it was unbelievable just to be able to be at this amazing hotel, know that it was paid for, there was food, all like both the days of the conference, like just those types of experiences, the fun we had, it was awesome. And being able to meet other people in the business and talk to the leaders in this network, it was invaluable. So definitely, you guys, make sure it's on your vision board. Make sure it's something that you're working towards. Make sure you know what you need to do this year in order to hit that goal. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a topic that stuck out immediately. It was by Melanie Mitro, and I have always loved her systems, and I've loved following her because she's very type A, matter of fact, just very focused in her business. And I've always followed her very closely and tried to sort of implement things that she does and try to kind of copy her systems, because I think that they are very effective. So she talked about how to balance life and this business, which I think, like, give me a hands up if you guys all sort of struggle with that balance, that, putting time towards the business, but also maintaining a family life and, a personal life and taking care of yourself. Like, it's really, really difficult. And I think it was refreshing to hear her talk about that and how much of a struggle it is for her as well. So she talked, it wasn't a very long talk, but I immediately implemented what she told us. So she suggested getting a Google Calendar. And if you know me, I hate doing things online. I'm all about pen and paper. But when she showed us her Google Calendar, I was like, I am doing this. It was color coded. It was so simple. And I think we all sort of struggle with where to put our business time, where to put our personal time, where to put our family time. And if you work at a job every day, like how to manage all of that. And sometimes it all just blends. And you're kind of like hanging out with your family and you're doing business stuff, or you're at your job and you're doing business stuff. And it's just you're never being efficient with what you're doing, because it's all like mumble jumbled. And she gave the example of, she felt like she was having family time because her kids would say, well, can you come and play a game with us? And she's like, yep. So she'd sit down on the floor and bring her phone with her beside her. And, they're playing a game and she's picking up her phone. And I mean, totally guilty. Like, what do we do on movie nights, on Friday nights? I sit with my laptop while my kids are watching a movie, and we call that movie night, right? And now my kids are getting a little bit older, and especially my oldest, and she's calling me out on this stuff. Like, she's really saying to me, can you just put your phone away, mommy? Like, for one night, can you just put it away? And I keep saying to her, no, I can't. Like, I can't. It's impossible for me to put it away. So this was really, really eye-opening. So I made a Google Calendar, and I wanted to show you guys how I am sort of trying to implement what she told us and how I'm trying to space things out in my day. Now, keep in mind, I am not working a full-time job outside of Beachbody. I do still work at the hospital, but only a couple shifts a month. So if I did it for next week, the whole calendar, and I don't work next week, so you're not going to see, you know, a 12-hour shift plugged in there for work. But this is definitely something doable, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or you work full-time, whatever your situation is. So I'm going to screen share. Can you guys see that okay? Okay. So this is about as like creative as I'll probably ever get in this business. So I'm going to just look at Monday to start. So 5 a.m. is always, I always get up at 5 a.m. Monday through Sunday, basically. So 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. is my personal time. And I'm going to go through what that actually means for me, what my personal time is and what my business building time. But I wanted to just show you guys how I'm outlining it. So from 5 to 6, that is my personal time. And then I've got my workout plugged in there every single day. And it changes on the weekends. We work out a little bit later. I've got the school hustle. And if you're a mom, you totally understand what that means, the school hustle, like lunches, getting everybody ready. Like there's just no time right then. And that's when I felt the most chaotic because I was trying to create posts right then. I was trying to return messages. Plus I'm trying to, you know, get 3 kids ready for school and another kid ready for daycare and make lunches. It was a disaster. Every day it was a disaster at this time. And so I plugged in some business building time in the morning because I'm home. So I'm able to plug in that much business building time. And again, I'll go through what my business building activities are. And then I needed to figure out when can I do this like mommy hustle, as in like things I need to do as a mother and a wife and a homeowner, basically, right? Like there's just stuff that we have to do every single day as moms, as wives. And then I plugged in my team time. And then this is going to be the biggest struggle for me is from 3 till 8 family time. But I think that this is so important that we all are doing is plugging in some family time. And then again, I've got personal time. So what Melanie did is she said to, when you're creating your calendar, what you need to do first is you need to plug in your family time. That is first and foremost, okay? Plug in your family time every day. When is your family time going to be? Then you need to, and like I put in like life appointments and stuff because you'll see I've got like just different like school meetings and an appointment for my daughter, that sort of thing. And then you need to plug in your workouts because that is number one in our business. So you need to plug in those workouts every single day. When are you doing them? The next thing you need to plug in is your business time. So figure out how many days or how many hours a day or how many hours a week you can dedicate to this business, and you need to plug it in there. Then I decided I need to plug in my mommy hustle because I mean, I've been feeling a little bit like a crappy mom lately because I've just let everything else take over. So that was really important that I had that mommy hustle window in there every single day. And then also personal time. So plugging in the personal time, whether that's your self-care, that's just being unplugged from social media, and then also my team time. So you'll notice that my team time didn't really come until the end, because I need to make sure all of those things are taken care of before I can even think about helping out my team. It's like the whole oxygen on an airplane thing, right? We all know that analogy. You really have to make sure that you are taken care of, and I have to make sure that my family is taken care of and my business is taken care of before I can help my team out. Okay, so I'm going to just switch over here. And again, this is about as fancy as I get. I'm so proud. Michelle, are you proud? All the colors. Okay, so a quote that she said during her call or during her talk was, "My children shouldn't get what's left of me, they should get the best of me." And when she said that she said it right at the very beginning, and I was like, oh, total gut check. Because I will be the first to say that my kids and my husband have been getting what's left of me every single day. And it like is hard for me even to admit that out loud, but that is 100% what's been happening. And I don't want that to continue. That doesn't feel good. So this came at the perfect time for me. So I hope that that helps you guys, just that, seeing that quote to yourself. So personal time, how I plugged that in there, right? I had my personal time in the morning from 5 till 6. And then I also put personal time at the end of the day. So that is going to mean something different for everybody. For me, that is my personal development. I need to put that in somewhere. I am not scheduling my personal development at a specific time. I used to, but sometimes there's just more important things that I need to do first thing. And personal development absolutely is important and will get done in my day. But if I have something weighing over me first thing in the morning that I'm feeling I need to catch up on, whether that's business or personal or family, whatever, I need to get that done. Otherwise, I can't even focus on my workout. So that's really important that I allow this personal time to be flexible. So personal development, I have to plan out my day. I just have to. It's in my notebook. I plan everything out. I also need to make sure that I know what we're eating for dinner that night. That stresses me out if in the morning I don't know what we're eating. So that's part of my personal time. Maybe that's making the meal plan for the week, whatever. It's going to be different every single day what my personal time is. And then my business building time. So this is really, really important. And I think this is where most people sort of stray and they start doing things that maybe aren't business building activities. So when you schedule in your business building time, you need to be really focused, especially if you are only plugging in your business building time during your work breaks. Like let's say you're working every single day. So your business building times are your lunch breaks. You're very limited on your time. So you need to make sure that you are 100% getting your business building activities done. So that is the first few items on that list. Responding and commenting to any new likes and comments on my posts. Okay, so I want to make sure I am engaging with people who are commenting on my stuff. Those are the people who are interested in what I'm doing. Those are the people that I want to talk to. Also inviting and connecting with people. So I do that through my posts. So I can message them, whether that's looking at who's watching your Insta stories or your Facebook stories. I mean, I'm not going to get into how we do these things, but those are the business building activities. Okay, inviting and connecting, and of course, following up. So those first 3 things, if that's all that I do in my business building block, I'm happy because those are the things that are going to move my business forward. But
sorry, Megan. Could everybody just take a second and make sure that your microphone is muted? Because there's somebody's watching TV or something. That's all I can hear. Thanks.
Oh, okay. And then during my business building time, I want to, be responding to all the messages in my inbox. And I think it's important that we don't just jump to our inbox first, because the messages are going to still be in our inbox. If we don't get to our inbox until the end of the night or the next day, those messages are still there. So don't feel panicked and think that that is the first thing you need to do. The first thing you need to do is you need to have new conversations. You need to reach out to new people and start filling your funnel with new people, not responding to the people who you already are engaged in conversations. That's not going to necessarily move your business forward. Also, this is when I will check into my challenge groups and I will maybe schedule some posts for my challenge group or the team page, whatever it is I need to do. But I make sure those first 3 things are always done because that's going to be what moves my business forward. And then my mom hustle. I mean, that's going to look different for everybody, right? But for sure, it's laundry. I make sure that I'm listening to some personal development while I'm doing that and listening to any training calls, that sort of thing. And then my team time. So I've scheduled in team time almost every day next week, except there are some days that because I have appointments or stuff happens that I'm not going to have that scheduled team time. So I'm not going to have any one-on-one calls that day, or any mini calls with my hashtag hustlers, as I like to call it. Team time is also when I'm going to prep for team calls. I'm not going to use my business building time to prep for team calls. And I'll also respond to messages and reach out to my coaches. So this is something that I'm trying to implement, because I could easily spend most of my morning talking with my team and responding to messages from my team. And, booking one-on-one calls during that time. And that is not business building time. You need to separate your business building time with your team time. So you need to make sure that in your calendar, you're putting in that time. So I really challenge all of you guys to make a Google Calendar. And it's actually more fun than I thought it would be with all the colors and stuff. But it is so helpful to be able to see that. It just makes it so much easier to stick with. And then what I also do, because every day those tasks are going to look different, right? So when I use my notebook, like I don't have a fancy planner or anything, but I don't know if you can see it, but this is tomorrow. So I have business building right here, team time, mom hustle, and then extras. So I can put, when I'm putting my to-do list together tonight, which if you don't work from a list, you're crazy, because you're not going to get anything done if you're not working from a list. So when you do your little brain dump and get everything out that you need to do, inviting, connecting, laundry, one-on-one call, team call, put them in the category that it falls under. So that when you look at your calendar and you wake up in the morning and, okay, I've got my personal time for 1 hour. What's in my personal box? And then when you're ready to do your business building activities, okay, what's in my business building to-do list today? And you start working there. And then what's my team time? And maybe one of those boxes won't be as full. Like maybe one day my mom hustle isn't going to have that much stuff in it. So I can either use that as my personal time, or I can quick see if my team needs me, or I can go and do some more inviting and connecting, that sort of thing. So I don't know if that was helpful at all, but that was just my big light bulb moment, and it's made things so much clearer of where my focus needs to be.
That's good, Megan. I think that's everybody. I mean, a lot of us everybody's busy. I mean, we all like to say we're the busiest on the call, but we all have different areas of busy, right? And I think that's where we always struggle when you add another, like I love to call this the part-time hustle. The part-time hustle, obviously it's my full-time hustle now, but it was definitely my part-time thing for a long time. And if you want it to become something that can change your life, you really have to nail this stuff down. You have to figure out where you're going to fit this stuff in. You're not going to find success if you don't fit it in. So that I like to think of those as buckets. Like Arnaud talked about earlier tonight, I've always kind of had my buckets, and it's the same thing. You've got to have a family bucket. You've got to have a self-care bucket. And we're not always perfect, but if you have it laid out, and like this kind of thing is gold, like writing things down the night before. I will not go to bed until I make sure my day, like I know what I have to do, because if you have kids and work and plus this business, like you will be so overwhelmed if you don't have like the major stuff written down. So that was super helpful.
Yeah. And you can't wing it. Like you can't, if you want this to become more than just a hobby, you can't wing this at all. You can't just wake up and be like, okay, I'm going to do some work now, and like open up your computer, and you're going to get nothing done. You are going to waste so much time, and you're going to get frustrated because you're not moving forward in the business, and it's because you're winging it. I can tell you that. You need to have a solid plan. You need to have your lists and what needs to be done and where you're going to do it and when. And I mean, you have to. You cannot wing it.
Nope. As much as I'd love to wing my whole life, it just doesn't work ever. Thanks, Megan. That was awesome. Okay, who wants to go next? Heather, take it away.
Guys, how are you? Okay, so this leadership retreat was beyond amazing. I'm going to try not to repeat everything Megan said because she pretty much nailed it on the head. The one thing that I do want to just repeat is that what I liked about this retreat versus summit is that they focus on where we are right now. Summit invites all different coaches from across, from the newer coaches to people who have been in the game, 10 years, however long the coaching has been around. So we're all kind of in the same training, whereas this one is geared specifically to where the new leaders are at the time in our lives. So everything that they presented to us was beyond helpful, and it was like everything was this aha moment for us. So I wanted to cover Instagram because that's really hot right now, and they recognize that that's very hot right now. And when we were all at Summit last year, a few of us were a little bit surprised to find out how big Instagram is to a lot of coaches and building their brand and building their business a little bit away from Facebook. So social media is our number one asset in this business. And if we don't keep up with the trends, we're not going to build the successful business that we want to. When we all started Instagram, I was not into it. I didn't really want to do it because, it's that whole thing about I have a full-time job and I have kids and I have this and that, and I'm trying to perfect Facebook, and I'm comfortable in my zone of Facebook. I felt like I was just honing my skills there. And now, boom, all of a sudden, Instagram pops up. So, if Facebook is trying to get back to the one-on-one relationships and trying to push the business aspect away from them right now. So we're having to work that much harder to grow our business on Facebook. So my number one thing to you guys, if you don't have Instagram, get on Instagram. I would love to say, forget it, don't do it. Guys, get on Instagram. I feel like it's really important. Bonnie Engel came to talk to us about it. She was talking to us about the importance of it, about the rules of engagement for it. She was speaking to us about Instagram stories. So she feels that if you guys want to be successful, if we all want to be successful, we have to evolve with Instagram, because they're taking different components of the different platforms of social media. So like Instagram is very picture-based, like Pinterest, and they've got the videos there, and they've got stories like you do on Snapchat, and they've got the live feature that a lot of people are starting to use right now. So one of the things that she mentioned is we need to use hashtags, which I'm sure everybody has heard by now that you got to use hashtags. But you want to use hashtags to find other people with similar interests to you. You don't want to find everybody else who's in the same business as you. So don't use hashtags like girl boss or fit mom or these typical ones where you're going to get everybody who's exactly like everybody on this team call right now, because you have nothing to offer them. We have nothing to offer each other in that sense because they're already in the business. So you really want to spend some time figuring out who you are and coming up with hashtags that pertain to your personality and who you are. And it doesn't have to be who you are now that you're already with Beachbody. You also want to think about who you were before Beachbody. What would make you who you were before go on social media and search things? What would you search? So for me, before Beachbody, I would be searching sugar addict. I would be searching potty mouth. I would search binge eater, closet eater, all these things that are a huge deal that a lot of people in our industry are not searching these or not posting these. They're all posting the whole fit mom thing. So you really want to hone your own hashtags and make sure that you're switching them up. Don't keep using the same ones for like a year long. It's just not going to get you anywhere. So your next step is, how are people going to find you? First things first, you have to have a business account. You cannot have a private account. Nobody's going to be able to find you. You cannot grow a business with a private account. You need to be posting at least one time a day about your life within the business. You don't have to vomit Beachbody all over people, but you need to incorporate something to do with the business and your life into at least one post a day. You want to make sure that, you know, it looks good. Like, it's got to look pretty. The lighting's got to be good. The clothing's got to be good. You know, as Michelle always says, you know, put on some lashes sometimes, you know. You want to have fun with it. You want people to be attracted to what they see. Some people have this really aesthetically pleasing, what's it called, Instagram wall, where, you know, one side is all these quotes with these light colors and then the rest are pictures. You can set it up that way because it's going to attract your people who also like what you've posted and how you designed it and how you set it up. You also want to make sure that all of your content matches up. And what I mean about that is, don't post about dogs if you hate dogs. Like, don't start posting about vintage cars if you don't know them from your vibrator. Like, just don't. I just wanted to make sure everybody was still awake. Sorry, still awake, right? Okay, good. No, but seriously, don't post about stuff that has nothing to do with you as a person or you, your personality, or people coming in to get to know you. If you see other coaches dancing around and you can't dance, or that's not your thing, don't dance. You don't have to dance. You don't have to sing. Just do you. Like, that's more important, do you. Another tip is, you want to evaluate your own content or get somebody else from the outside to evaluate your own content. So what we're throwing out there, we may think is fantastic, we may think it's great, and it could be totally off track. And it could be totally not in line with what we're trying to do, how we're trying to present ourselves. So if you have a friend who's not in the business, if you have a family member, just have them go through your page, have them go through your stories, and reply back to you about what they see, about how they feel about what you're posting, how they feel about what you're talking about. Let them give you that constructive criticism feedback. Have a thick skin about it, because it's better for you in the long run. It could only help you. The other focus was Instagram stories. So I'm hoping everybody's doing the stories. It's like 15-second clips. She kept mentioning 30 seconds. I'm wondering if possibly, if you get to a certain amount of followers, if you get more seconds of stories. I don't know. But for us right now, for me, it's 15 seconds. But you want to think of your stories as letting people into a day in the life of you, or everything that you are about. So we've split it up into 4 main categories when it comes to stories. 4 things that you have to include in your stories every single day. It's a non-negotiable. So the first thing is about, where are you in your life right now? So you want to make a list of 3 to 4 main things about you that you think would attract people to you. So for Bonnie, she kept talking about how she's pregnant and her belly and everything surrounding, you know, the belly. But if you're a mom, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you want to talk everything maybe about how life is hectic, how you're juggling 3 or 4 kids, how you're making sure that they are having healthy snacks, how you're dealing with feeding 4 different kids, 4 different meals, if that's something that you do. You know, you want to relate it to whatever you're about and wherever you are in your life right now. So you may even want to talk about, how are you running your online business while being a parent, and show how you're doing it successfully and how you're good with it. You know, if you're a world traveler where you're living out of hotels all the time, you want to show people how you're finding healthy solutions to stay on track. Like, we were in a hotel for 5 days, stuck in an airport for 2 days. We stayed on track. I didn't want to, but the 3 I was with forced me to stay on track. And it was tough, but we did it, you know, we did it. And this is something that we showcased in our Instagram stories. And I got a lot of feedback from people who were very impressed that we were in an airport for 36 hours, got to the hotel, and instead of crashing and sleeping, we all went and worked out. Like, they were impressed by that. And this is what attracts people, because they're like, I need your drive and your motivation. So these are things that you wanna focus on and that you wanna share with people. The second thing is your health and fitness. It is not good enough to just do a post on your Instagram wall. I don't even know what to call that thing, but just doing a post on your Instagram wall where you're like, worked out today, here's my sweaty mug. that's not enough. You have to be using Instagram stories to show people that you are consistent. And I mean consistent every single day. You want to show them that you are waking up every single morning at the crack of dawn, if that's what you do, or you're coming home from a long day's work and pressing play at 10 o'clock p.m. if that's what you do. You want to show them that you're committed to eating your pre-workout meal when you may not feel like it. You want to show them that you're committed to taking your pre-workout, whatever you guys want to call it, you know, Energizer, mom crack, workout crack, sex crack, whatever people call it. But you want to show this every single day, because people don't want to just go to your wall and see, oh, they posted a sweaty mug, but why aren't they showing every day what they're doing? Because they get used to that consistency. They begin to trust you from that consistency. So one of the things that I know I've heard people struggle with is when they're working out, it's hard for them to record their workouts that they're going to post on Instagram. So what Bonnie's trick is that she just sets her thing up where she's recording her entire workout, like a full hour, and then she splices through it and takes pieces of clips from that to post on her Instagram stories. A trick that Sandra does that she taught me is, we got this damn Joby thing, and we put our phones on it, and we put our phones that it doesn't close, it doesn't lock, and we got a remote control. So we're able to like literally just leave the phone up there or the Joby, wherever it is, and we just press the remote control every time we do a new move, so it doesn't disturb our workouts, and we just save them and then post them later. So there are ways around it, right? And you want to make your posts about your workouts fun. Add some music to it. Add some GIFs, whatever the hell they're called. Add those to it. You know, add a quote to it about what you're going through. That it's called a GIF, I think. Don't make fun. GIF, I don't know. Oh, the Joby. Sorry, it's a Joby. Sorry. I thought you were making fun of the way I was saying that. My bad. So, you know, make it engaging, make it fun, make people want to join you. You know what I mean? Put quotes on there about the workout that you're doing for that day, about how you struggled with it, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, you know, like make it fun so that they want to keep coming back to you. Like for mine in the morning, I do this thing where I wake up tired as hell, and then I take my Energize, and then I'm all jazzed up and I dance. And now I'm getting people actually sending me song requests that they want me to dance to now. So people are watching, you know, this is engaging to them. They like entertainment. They may think I'm an idiot, but that's okay, it's entertaining. The third thing is your personality. You don't want to get caught in the whole slew of 400,000 Beachbody coaches. It is so important to stand out and to show your personality. You do not have to be perfect. If you're recording yourself doing a workout and you're doing one of those flamingo things, you don't have to keep recording it 15 times before you're, you know, not wobbly. They want to see you wobble. Let them see you fall over, you know. Sandra did one of those mule kicks and she went right over, by the way. And she won't show us, but she went right over. But I'm sorry, I would pee myself to see that. So people want to know that we have bad days, that we didn't nail our workouts every single day, but we still woke up and got it done. You know, they want to see the real you. If you don't know what the real you is, or you're struggling to figure out things about yourself, go to your spouse and find out why they sleep with you every night. Find out why they go to bed with you. Well, you know what? Forget it. Don't ask that question. We know. Forget it. Don't ask. No, but go to your friends and find out why they hang out with you, why they like to be with you, what they like about you, and get that feedback from other people. Because if you sit there and you make a list of what people say about you, you may actually find out personality traits about you that you didn't even know you had. And that's super important, because then that's an easier way to figure it out, and then you go and put it out there. The fourth thing that we have to post about that a lot of people don't do, and I was not doing it, I'm doing it now, is the business. We have to talk about the business every single day. We all know that we have health and fitness to offer people, and we put that out there, but we also have a business opportunity to offer to people. And we are all embarrassed and uncomfortable, and we don't want to, you know, talk about stuff that's all taboo. It's a business opportunity. We are all living this amazing life, this amazing community, and we are doing other people a disservice to not talk about it every single day to them. And I'm not saying, you know, dollar bills and all this crap in front of people and talk about monetary things. You don't need to do that. We need to get emotional about it. We need to get people excited and attract to our business on the emotional front. So you can showcase so many things that are not income related. You know, it's nothing new that you've heard about talking about maybe groceries or taking your family on vacation. You know, you want to showcase what you want people to know about the business. You want to showcase the freedom and flexibility. You want to maybe take people through a day in the life of what you do. For you guys who are working from home all day, show people that you're in your pajamas still doing your work and that you didn't have to go outside. If it's snowing outside and other people are shoveling their driveways, and we are cursing about that, open your door and show and be happy and be like, hey, because of this, you know, I'm lucky that I don't have to go out there and shovel the snow. I'm lucky I don't have to do these things. There's always things that are not monetary value that we can showcase within the business. And if you're struggling to figure out what that is, take 15 minutes of your day, sit quietly, and remember why you signed up as a coach. What attracted you to the business? What is it about your upline that made you want to do this? What is it that keeps you in the business? And showcase those things. This other brilliant thing that she does, and it made my mind explode. I freaking love it. Twice a month, she runs a public sneak peek into coaching over a 3-day period through her Instagram stories. Okay, blew my mind. So all day long for 3 days, she will walk people through a day in the life of her coaching business. She chronicles her day as a coach. She talks about what she does as a coach. She talks about what her daily activities are. And she also even talks about what other people's daily activities would be if they were to sign up as a coach. Like their initial activities, like if they were a newbie coach, not down the line. But she shares this with them. She shares what their jobs would be, what their lives would be like, what they would be doing. So if you're wondering like, hey, what do I discuss in these 3 days of content? One of the things that she discusses is she talks about main objections that people might have to coaching. And it doesn't just have to be objections that you just make up. You can go to objections that you guys have all heard, and we've all heard them. If you're inviting people, then you have heard them, and you can discuss those. You can discuss the objections that maybe you had before you signed up as a coach. She discusses misconceptions that, you know, she had when she was going to sign up as well, or misconceptions that other people have. So like an example was somebody who signed up and said, I don't have the money to sign up, you know, and you could be like, hey, you know, save your birthday money, or save this. I can teach you how to, you know, budget your groceries for this month to be able to save you that money to sign up, to start this business opportunity. So addressing these misconceptions leaves it as an open forum, and it no longer makes recruiting a dirty little secret. It takes that stigma off of it. She'll discuss what is attractive about the business, both emotionally and the possibilities within the business, how she felt before Beachbody, the way her life was before, how it's changed now. And again, it doesn't have to be about money. And the other thing that I really liked is showcase the success of other people. So in these Instagram stories, go live and show the success of your challengers, of them getting results, of them posting their meal prepping. Showcase the success of your downline coaches and that, you know, the goals and the things that they're hitting. You know, showcase when you're giving recognition out. Showcase what's possible. Showcase everybody's accomplishments. Make it public, make it known, so that they can see the possibilities from every single angle of coaching, because this will be very attractive to them. The other thing is, you know, when you're talking about, when you're going into the glimpse into coaching on Instagram, you're going to attract what you discuss. So if you lead with, you can get a discount, you can get a discount, the discounts are amazing, discounts are amazing, you're going to attract discount coaches. That's what you're going to get. If you make it seem like the coaching opportunity is easy and that anybody can just do it, and you only have to work half an hour a day and you can make all these hundreds of millions of thousands of dollars, you're going to sign somebody and the next day they're going to quit as soon as they realize that it takes some effort. So you want to be honest about it. Whatever you put out there, that's what you're going to get back. So remember that whatever you put out, that's what you're getting back. Put out the good shit so that you get good people back. The other thing is, write down your own habits of Instagram and look at what you guys are doing. So if you're doing a lot of, look at the fonts that you're using, look at the colors that you're using, look if you're using a lot of boomerangs, if you're using a lot of those filtered faces, and see how you feel about that. Because if that's the things that you like to see, then you use it too. And get feedback from people, like I said before. So one day when you guys are just scrolling Instagram, scroll Instagram and see what's attracting you. See whose pages you're stopping on. See whose stories you're listening to. Are you finding that if you're on somebody's account in their Instagram stories and they have like 5 15-second chat sessions in a row, are you tuning out? Because if you're tuning out, then don't put 5 chat sessions in a row. Switch it up, do something else. If you don't like to see boomerangs constantly all the time, don't do boomerangs constantly all the time. What you like is a good indication of what your people are going to like, and you should be posting the same thing. So I think, is that all I had to do? Oh, the last thing I wanted to just address is, we know about the geotagging, where you can tag any city, any country, anything that you want. Definitely utilize that. Utilize the hashtags that we discussed before. And the other thing is, start tagging like brands that you're using. So if you wear Fabletics, put at Fabletics, because you're going to get attention from everybody else that likes Fabletics. So start doing that, because like I've been, sometimes when I use my videos, I'm in love with Eminem. So sometimes I put at Eminem, and I've had like 25 people reach out and message me because they're like, oh, we always hear your Eminem songs in your videos. And they've actually reached out to me to talk to me. The other thing that you want to do is talk about something else that gives you credibility. Find something that you're passionate about, that you can give advice about or recommend to people, and that will give you more credibility instead of people thinking that you're always pushing Beachbody things. So if you need some ideas, if you're an Instapot queen, rave about the Instapot, tag the crap out of that, talk about it, recommend it. When we were in LA, Justine, this makes me come up, the Diva Cup. Post about the damn Diva Cup. I've done so much research about this thing, it's unbelievable. But tag the Diva Cup. You will get so many women following you and interested in what you're doing, that was like the most brilliant piece of advice. Like I was like, that was amazing. And this will give you more credibility, that people now know that you're into more things than just Beachbody. And that's all I got to say. I'm all wrapped up.
That was awesome, Heather. Thank you. I mean, I think we've, on both teams, like Amy and Brian did so much Instagram stuff last week. I think it's apparent that we all need to be on Instagram, right? I think we're drilling it in. And even though it might seem overwhelming if you haven't got there yet, it was overwhelming to us at first too. And you just learn like a tiny little bit every single day. You don't have to be like an Instagram professional. Like none of us are. We're just learning little bits like what Heather shared right now. And maybe you'll see a video on YouTube. And I mean, for me, my personal development, sort of business development right now is all about Instagram. Like I'm just trying to figure out as much as I can and then share it. But I mean, that's how we learn, right? So don't not do something because it seems scary. Just take one step at a time and just dip your feet in, and you're going to get better. It's just like when your kids learn to walk, they got better every single day. And that's the same with us with Instagram. So all of these tips, and every time you hear more and more about it, you're just going to get better and better and better. But don't not do it not doing it is probably a product of you're just comparing yourself to someone else, and all that other person has is just a few more days doing Instagram, nothing else. You know, they're not better than anyone else. It's just they have a little bit more experience. So that seems to be a really great place to build relationships right now. So if that's your one, you know, complaint right now, or you can't find people to talk to, that is what my coaches hear from me. And I'm sure they're all shaking their heads that if someone comes to me and says, I can't get to my goals, I ask if they're on Instagram, and I ask if they're doing stories, because my whatever success club, I have no idea what it is right now. They've all come from Instagram stories, specifically stories. So that was awesome information. Thank you, Heather. Okay, Justine. Cool. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. So as you guys can probably tell, like we could talk for like 5 more hours, because it was a great day and a half of information. Like we got little notes, things, and like as you can see, I have it full here, and there was a lot of takeaways on it. And it was an adventure, and I'm very thankful to have been in an airport. You guys probably all thought we were just going to be in an airport the whole trip, but we made the best of it. So the first thing I want to say is the quote that it was at the beginning of the conference, and it was, good intentions are not good decisions made. And that's something that kind of hit home, because we can take all this information we're giving you, or that you find on YouTube or you find wherever, and if you keep it all on notes like this and do nothing about it, you're not moving your business or reaching your goals the way you want to. So take this information from the girls that already spoke and myself and anything you have, but even try to just implement 3 things a week that you've learned over the course of the week, or 2 things, whatever it is. Instagram, just get on there and start doing Instagram stories, and do 2 a day. You don't have to start out doing 10 or 12 if you're new to it. So anyways, that's the start. There was quite a few speakers, like Melanie Mitro was awesome with her calendar. The Instagram, more not so interesting stuff, the volume, but it was interesting. But they went over a lot of stuff. So the girl I'm going to talk about is Kim Fitzpatrick was speaking, and she was talking about your brand. And I think this kind of coincides with the STB training that we're doing as well, because if you're trying to talk and reach to everybody, you're not going to end up talking to somebody who is just like you, and who is your brand, and who is your vibe and your tribe. So what she kind of went over basically is to be unapologetically you. And she broke it down to the 3 R's: be real, be relatable, and be resourceful. Yeah, Kim Fitzpatrick was the name of her. And by those things, be real, like what Heather was saying, you know, like if Sandra went ass over tea kettle with that move, share it. People want to see a reality show. They don't want to see perfect 100% of the time. If you got your kids climbing over like Megan when she's trying to do a plank or whatever, she's sharing that. So share the everyday life that would happen, not just the highlight reels. And to be relatable, you know, and that kind of coincides with the resourcefulness. So being relatable is, you know, if you're having things throughout the day that happen to you, or asking a question like mom hacks, life hacks that you figured out that are like when I'm traveling, I roll it up and put it in a Ziploc bag and I suck all the air out of it so I can get twice as many clothes when I go on a trip. So like sharing stuff like that, you have to give value out. The more value you give out, the more chance that you actually can ask them for something in return. Value, value, value. Okay. Like she said, something that makes your life easier, share about that. You can't just share about health and fitness. What she kind of went over, and I shared it with a few of the ladies on my team, is come up with a list of 5 things. List your 5 brand identifying attributes. So your identifiers, so things that are you. So obviously health and fitness. If you love going to Disneyland, if you're a Disneyland addict, you know, if you love DIY, if you know, love wine, whatever. But 5 things, stick with that. and share those throughout your posts. You got to sprinkle bits of you and not just you working out, because that gets boring real fast. So make sure you do that. And basically, like she said, people will be attracted to you if they feel similar to you. So don't go out and try to pretend that you're somebody you're not. Be you. Own your personality. Here's one thing that's true to my heart, and it's photography. And this goes with your brand, is lighting matters, people. Okay. I probably should do a team call on just taking selfies and pictures, because if you guys don't know me, I'm a photographer as well. But aim towards a window, okay? Get as much light as you can. Buy a treble light or whatever, or a stand-up light. Take the shade off so that you have light. Yeah, like Amy's got the little ring. That was like 15 or 20 bucks. You can get them on Amazon. I don't have it up here, but it clips on to like a window ledge, and it's got like a gooseneck with a light on it. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can spend $20. You can spend, whatever amount. I have one from photography. It's the ring light, and I don't know what the other name, if I forget. Jatana uses one. It's a great big one. But light up your workout room, or if you're in the living room with your kids, make sure you look towards the window, okay? Nothing worse than somebody going through Instagram, like Heather's talking about, and that's what people do on there. They just look at pictures and they can't see your face. So you are your brand. So make sure, people, that you have light on it, and find a filter that you love. Like, go through Instagram, and if people you're following, you kind of like their colors, like it could be the tones of the whites and pinks and purples or whatever, or it could be black and whites, or whatever. But whatever it is, find a filter that you love and stick with that, because that people want to see that consistency in those posts with the pictures. Let's see. Oh, and then she was, maybe this is into Instagram. But when you're doing a post, make sure that you capture them in the first 3 sentences, because that's what they're going to read. They're not, if you capture them in that first little instance, then you've got them for the rest of your post. I'm just going to share my screen really quick. I did take one screenshot of one of the slides that were up there. Can you guys see that okay? Basically, your brand is who you have become and who you are becoming. And she went over what are the moments in time that have shaped you. So these are like questions here that you could ask yourself. I remember when there was a time when before coaching, I used to always think, I never thought. So take those snippets, and I can share them on this screenshot on the team page if you guys want or whatever. But basically, you got to find your brand. You got to find who you're talking to, and to make your avatar, if you will. And that's what that's where I've struggled before. This is where I'm going with it now. And I think that's so important to make sure that you do that. So that's all I have on that, because I want Justine to be able to talk to. So, I could keep going on, but.
That's awesome. I love those. That screen at the end is really, really helpful. I love that. All those ideas, just like post prompts, basically. So take a picture of that, or Dar will share it. That's awesome. Thank you, Darlene. Okay, Justine.
Can you hear me? So I was going to talk about volume, boring old volume, because I was very surprised that it was a topic for 1-star and 2-star leaders, because that's something that I've always been curious about, but I'm not going to talk about it. I've done a team call on it. If you want to know more about volume, I can send you the link on it. I'm going to end with a topic that was brought up a lot during the talks. It was, what does Beachbody mean to you? And we had top coaches that talked to us, but we also had people from corporate that did presentations for us. And it's not just the coaches that believe in this business. It is everyone that believes in this business. Doug Moss was up, I think that's his name, was up at the front. He couldn't even get out his first sentence of him talking about what Beachbody meant to him. He was so choked up. Like it gave me goosebumps thinking about that. So They told us to write down a word of what Beachbody means to you. And I immediately wrote growth and change. And I didn't know which one I was going to pick. And I picked change at the end because it can mean so many different things. For me, changing myself inside and out. I'm also changing other people's lives. It just means so many different things. So that was my word. You may have seen a picture of Megan and Heather's, all of our hands. We wrote it on it. Dara still has to think of her word. She didn't write one yet. But I challenge everyone on this call. There's a post for you to do. What does Beachbody mean to you? Hashtag Bitnique Nation or true, so that everyone can see what Beachbody means to you guys. Any word, whatever you want, but do a post about it. There's a post for tomorrow. That's all I have.
Thank you, Justine. Well, that actually almost makes me cry